Ankobra River is dying, and the government says it's war. After witnessing firsthand the shocking extent of pollution, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister has announced that a permanent military base will be stationed along the river to stop illegal miners and protect one of Ghana's most vital water bodies. Correspondent Inakia Kwansa has more in this report.
Pristia to Sanoma, where the Ankobra River stretches, is 190 kilometers. For the past 3.5 months, our main concentration has been on the land and then on the river. But I want to stress that our interest is on water bodies and forest reserve. We've done a lot of operation on the land, and we have shifted now on the river.
What was meant to be an hour canoe ride on the Ankobra River turned into more than two, a journey that revealed the scars of illegal mining deep on the Ankobra River. The Land and Natural Resource Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa joined the Western Region Security Council on Thursday to inspect Galamsey activities at first hand along the Ankobra River. Instead of a clear water, the river flowed thick and milky brown. Just minutes into the journey, the team encountered a Galamsey makeshift hub made of wooden and plastic structures, known as Chinese Town. Now, a Galamsey hub carved out of what was once a cocoa farmland. Women and children were left behind as miners fled at the sight of the delegation.
You see all this crowd right here. Nobody is planting any food. Everybody here is focused on destroying the water.
Further upstream, devastation spread wider. Hundreds of chamfans clogged the river. Pumps, pipes, and heaps of sand lined the banks like monuments to destruction. So behind me is a pit dug by these illegal miners, just few minutes walk from the Ankobra River. This is to remind us that this war is not something that we should just be playing around with.
Did you burn the excavators? Okay.
Why can't they replace it?
The people who are doing this have declared war on the people of Ghana, period. They are not simply looking for gold. They've decided to completely decimate the Ankobra River. And they don't care what happens to anybody else. I think this is one more reason why we have to put our money where our mouth is. And I hope I can bring the Minister of Finance, my good friend, here to understand that we need to mobilize all the security forces to stay here permanently because we are at war.
The minister hinted at plans to expand the current 100-meter buffer zone along river banks to 1 kilometer.
Yes, we are going straight to a conversation on the back of this, and we are being joined by the Media Relations Officer with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Pakwesi Shandov. Now, Pakwesi, it's good to have you here with us. I want to understand from you, how serious is the pollution of the Ankobra River, and what exactly did the minister see?
Well, the extent of devastation was one that could be described as profoundly horrible because, like the reports by Natalia Kwansa clearly indicated, what ordinarily was supposed to have been a clear passage of water was rather discolored and heavily filled with, of course, the proceeds from illegal mining activities. The minister witnessed it, and as always, he expressed his displeasure rather remarkably. And so what we are doing, or we're going to do to ensure that we are able to deal decisively with that situation is essentially what the minister clearly indicated, that now, effective now, there ought to be an instructive deployment of military personnel in a surveillance that would be uninterrupted. That is to say that they will stay there unabated until such a time when we can confidently say that we've been able to deal decisively with that particular situation.
So we see a firefighting approach to this particular Galamsey issue where the military goes there and they will eventually withdrawn subsequently. What is the assurance that such a decision will not happen again, basically based on what the minister lamented about?
I'm not sure about the withdrawal of any military personnel under this particular dispensation. Indeed, nobody in the military previously deployed has been withdrawn in this period of the government's administration. Maybe you are referring to a development that happened in the NPP's administration. But as of now, in this current dispensation, there has never been anything of that sort. And that is because of government's commitment to dealing with the menace of illegal mining. What is going to happen now, like I have earlier indicated, is that there's going to be a full-fledged, uninterrupted combative deployment to not only the Ankobra River, but indeed across all the 44 forest reserves in the country. Because clearly, Winston, from what we have observed, we are dealing with a breed of miners who are extremely recalcitrant and obstinate. And I mean, you understand the local Ghana language better, and so I'm sure I could import this proverb that is often said that shitoni nawa, shitoni jiosan, loni jiosan, sorry, shitoni nawa, nakeyo. To wit, if a fish has a very uncomfortable odor, you are best eating it with pepper that is equally hot. And so, looking at the gravity of the situation, what we can do is to deploy an equally combative measure, and that is what the minister indicated. That is what we are truly committed to, and very soon that would be done and coordinated, of course, as always, by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat.
Indeed, just as you described, this is not a kinky and fish discussion, but I want to get from you as well. How committed is the minister going to handle this? And we've seen he say that he's going to engage the finance minister in the next approach. What is the ministry doing to that?
Well, of course, the reason he roped in the finance minister was that if you are going to station military men at this particular location and other locations for a very long time, it will come with significant financial implications, and that is why that conversation with the finance minister would be had. Indeed, government is not even necessarily concerned about the cost implication when it comes to fighting illegal mining, because illegal mining is fighting us back, and therefore, if you're going to devote and vote a lot of resources to it, it is not a problem at all. The ministry would have that conversation accordingly, and we are also very hopeful that relevant disbursements will be made to ensure that we stick to our word, which is mounting uninterrupted military surveillance across all the water bodies and all the 44 forest reserves that have been impacted and besieged by the menace of illegal mining. Already, the Ghana Gold Board has supported handsomely. The chief executive officer this morning, speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM, indicated that there is even more support that extends beyond the 5 million cedis cash, and then, of course, the 5 Toyota Hilux pickups. And so support is very important. Thankfully, government is committed to it, and that is why we'll see very commendable results as we progress.
Chano, has a timeline been given to this particular approach to dealing with this illegal menace?
Winston, I did mention to you on Monday when we interacted that it will be difficult to assign any definitive timelines. I mean,
timeline to commence the positioning of these police personnel around the water bodies.
Okay, so that's the context. So the proposition is now on the table. The conversation has been had, and as I speak to you, indeed, I'm even not communicating from the capital. We are currently in the Western region as part of the minister's mining tour. And so as soon as we get to Accra, we should be able to give word on when exactly the deployment is going to be done. But on paper, the structure has been drawn, and I can tell you authoritatively as the one who speaks for NIMOS that the structure for the deployment has been concluded by NIMOS, and therefore by next week, we should communicate effectively on when exactly this particular deployment should be done. But it will be very soon, that I can assure you, because like the minister said, it's a war and we cannot afford to rest on our laurels.
We'll surely be keenly following that development as well. Pakwesi Chandov is the Media Relations Officer with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, speaking to us on development at the Ankobra River, where there's countless pollution happening there. Now.